Good morning, everyone. It is the last day of the streaming week, and that means it's time for an awesome full day of fun here on DSPGaming on today's shortened episode of the Level 1 podcast. Of course, I'll get you all caught up on how everything's been going, but there has been one burning question that people have been asking me for the last 2 days, and it's in regards to Wings of Redemption making an appearance on this very show. Today, I will address this topic. But it's going to be a shorter podcast because today is the premiere of Tormented Souls 2, and I want to give this new survival horror game a lot of time on this stream. So let's get right into it. Sit back and relax. It's time for a week-ending episode of the Level 1 podcast. Oh, sorry. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show. It's the Level 1 podcast for Thursday, the 23rd of October, 2025. I'm DSP, and it's my final streaming day of the week. I know it's a little weird. Usually I'm here through Friday, but this is a shortened week so that I can have some extra time with my wife to do some stuff for the season. In fact, notably, during our time off in the next couple of days, number one, I'll be completely finishing my Halloween costume, and number two, I'll be heading to the liquor store to look for festive Halloween-themed drinks. I don't know what they have. Typically, they have like ales or beer brews, but I'm wondering, do they have anything else this year that would be something really cool that I could have during the Halloween marathon, which is 1 week from tomorrow. It will be actually on Friday, the 31st of October. Okay? So, let's get into it, shall we? How y'all doing? I hope you're doing well, and I really hope that you've been enjoying the season. This month has actually been a really great month, although admittedly, it's been a little weird. We did survival horror before October started, and then as October started, the survival horror ended. A little weird. I know, we had both Chronos: The New Dawn and then Silent Hill F that released before October hit. So then by the time that the month got into full swing, we started playing games that had nothing to do with survival horror. It's like, well, that's weird. I know. But the good news is we kept the spirit alive. Last week, we had multiple nights of horror indies, which were very silly and fun. And today, we've got the premiere of Tormented Souls 2. This is a game that is intentionally designed to play like the survival horror games of yesteryear. Think Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. Think Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3. That's exactly what the game is kind of trying to be an homage to. And it succeeds. The first game, Tormented Souls 1, I played years ago. A little on the later side because at first I hadn't heard about it. But via word of mouth, people had convinced me to play it. And I actually loved it. I actually absolutely positively 100% I loved it. I had a great time with it. So I hope that you guys will stick around after this shortened podcast for that, okay? But outside of that, you know, what else will be going on? Festive stuff? Well, we've got the Halloween marathon next week, and I'm excited for that because you guys nominated 8 different games, all of which fit into the spooky season. And you might say, well, what games? Well, we talked about this a couple days ago, but just to reiterate, the good games will be Left 4 Dead. Now, I don't know if we'll play 1 or 2. I think both probably still have a player base. Project Zomboid, SCP Containment Breach, The Mortuary Assistant, No, I'm Not a Human, My Side, Clover Pit, and Poppy Playtime. So 8 completely different themed games. All right. And I'm excited for that marathon. I'm going to dress up in a costume all day long. When we hit levels of support, I'll be taking shots, or it depends on what I find, because this is what I mean. I'm actually going to go to the liquor store, and we're going to see exactly what they have there. Maybe they'll have hard liquor. Maybe they'll have beer. Maybe they'll have other things that are Halloween themed. Obviously, I want to have a variety of stuff for the event, but I got to see what they have. Okay. So should be pretty fun. Also, and I announced this a few days ago, there will be a very special edition of DSP Tries It. That's right. I'm actually going to do a Halloween edition of DSP Tries It, where I'm going to be trying out 2 different Halloween-themed snacks. Okay? Live taste testing. So it's festive. Instead of it being, oh, I'm ordering meals from a freaking fast food restaurant, it's going to be like, candy, cookies, treats, stuff like that. Okay? So that should be fun. I'm excited for that. And I hope that you guys are as well. So that's coming up. So we're going to have Tormented Souls 2 over the next week. We're going to have the Halloween Marathon. And the day before Halloween, on October 30th, it is the release of Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Now, that's going to be special, playing the classic Mortal Kombat games for the first time in 100 years. There's so many games in that collection, including Mortal Kombat Trilogy, where you can play as characters from Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, all pitted against each other. That's pretty neat. So I think that's going to be something special too, to not miss. Okay, so great stuff coming up this next week, leading into Halloween, and I hope that you'll be here for it. I hope you've enjoyed all the stuff I've been doing recently. I mean, every playthrough has been doing well. Silk Song, now in Act 3, the most challenging stuff in the game, has been doing really well. Pokemon, a lot of people questioned if Legend ZA was a good game or not. Well, for my streams, it is. We're having a great time. We're chilling. We're relaxing, catching Pokemon, naming Pokemon, taking on trainer battles and stuff. It's really good. Ninja Gaiden 4 now. It's into its stride. We got a second weapon. I'm learning all the abilities, getting great combos and stuff. It's working well. So far, so good. And when we have time for it, we try to squeeze in, Mario Galaxy 2. Now we're going to have Tormented Souls 2. So there you go. The only thing, and by the way, I'm going to address some stuff going on right now because I can see in chat, chaos is breaking out. Not really, but you'll see what I'm saying in a second. The only thing that I want to address right now is what to do about The Outer Worlds 2. And you might say, well, what do you mean? The Outer Worlds 2 is also coming out next week amongst everything else going on. Okay? I don't know what to do about it, and here's what I mean. It's a long RPG, okay? If you saw my Outer Worlds 1 playthrough, essentially it's very similar to a game like Fallout or even Elder Scrolls, but it's set in space, okay? Interesting dialogue trees and missions, great narrative, but the gameplay was a slog when it came to the combat. The combat was very repetitive and not very satisfying, and ended up being a big time killer in the original game, okay? So when I played the original, I liked it. I did think that it was some of the best narrative I'd seen in a while, but it paired it with the fact that I had to keep traversing these planets and killing repetitive enemies, and people found that part very boring. So it was kind of like a half and half, Right now, I am juggling quite a few games. Today, we're adding another one. Next week, we're adding Mortal Kombat. It's really not a great time to be adding in a 40-plus hour RPG. Okay? I'm not saying that I'm not interested in Outer Worlds 2. I'm not saying that I think the game is bad. In fact, the reviews came out this morning, and they seem to be pretty praising. I think the lowest score I saw was like a 6.5 or 7, all the way up to like a 9 or 10. On average, IGN and GameSpot, I think, give it an 8. And it seems to be, some people love it, some people don't, but if it's more of the same of the last game, it's at least worth a look, okay? And I was telling you guys, hey, I'm going to check it out because it's on Game Pass. But now I'm looking at my schedule, and I'm like, Silk Song, which we're still not done with, and it's probably going to take several more streams to beat. Ninja Gaiden 4, which we just started. Pokemon, which is going to be a long game, and we're around 10 hours into, right? Now Tormented Souls 2, all that juggling, and now we're going to have more stuff next week. Like, how am I going to play an RPG, right? So I think maybe the best way to go about it is this. let's focus on everything we're doing up to Tormented Souls 2 starting today. Let's try to juggle these games. Let's see how far we can get in each one. And let's make sure that all these are great playthroughs that you guys want. Right now, I think everything in the rotation is great and people want it. Okay? Let's play it by ear for about a week. Let's see what happens next week. Okay? I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's a good time to jump into Outer Worlds 2. What I'm thinking is if you haven't looked at the schedule yet, November is a very slow month, actually, for games. It seems like they loaded everything into October. Everything. November has Call of Duty. And outside of that, I think there's one other game and nothing else major. There's some minor releases here or there, but nothing crazy big. So it's almost like no one wanted to mess with Call of Duty. So they all released their games way earlier, but they all coincided with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like they all came out at the same time. So now it's hard to juggle all that stuff at once. So let's see what happens. Well, I think we're probably going to skip Outer Worlds 2 at its release, only to maybe go back and check it out later, maybe in November, okay? Maybe December. I'm not sure. But right now, it's looking like I got to focus on what we're playing or we'll never finish everything. You know what I mean? Like if I have 7, 8 games in the rotation, how will I ever finish a single game? I won't. So FYI, that's the concern, and that's what's going on. I think Outer Worlds 2 is probably going to have to wait, but it is a Game Pass game. I'm not against playing it at all. I just need to have the right time for it, and right now, if we're playing so much, we can't really do it right now, okay? So, folks, just to address the elephant in the room, if you're sitting in YouTube chat right now, you may or may not have realized a distinct change that just happened. For me, this just happened this morning. All of you who are sitting in YouTube chat, your names have completely changed. What do I mean by that? Well, the way it used to work in YouTube chat was your names were whatever your name is on your channel. So if your channel name was Chris, I would see Chris. If your channel name was, I don't know, Original Grant, I would see Original Grant. YouTube changed that for me this morning. Right now, what I see are your @ addresses and the actual name of your YouTube channel that's not the name you chose to publicly display. So, for example, here's the names I'm seeing right now in YouTube chat. @Support Rallyman, @Apollo360SD, @Chris Farrell 9888, @Darklord Sauron1, @Does This Look Normal, @Darkside Dellin 2, @JHFFGGGYY, @Ellipsian2838, @John Nepper 1947. Do you see my point? It used to just be Ellipsian, John Nepper. In some cases, the name of your channel, the address of your channel is not really the name that you like to go by, but I can't see it anymore. Right here, @BattleDuck-OV4FM. I know who that is. That's BattleDuck 9000. But it doesn't say that anymore. So YouTube, once again, in all of their wisdom, made a sweeping change to the website that is absolutely terrible and never should have happened, but they're morons and they think we know better than you. And they change. Princess Luna, your name is now @Princess Luna. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That's your name now. So understand that if in the next several days to weeks, if you guys are talking and I'm like, I'm trying to call your name and it's weird, I'm like, I can't pronounce it, or I'm confused as to who you are, please understand, it's not that I forgot who you are. It's that YouTube just changed the whole chat system on me. That's what I'm seeing right now. And there's no way to fix it. They just decided to do this overnight for me. Now, I've heard this was a change that was coming. I heard that it was a change that was in the works and everyone was like, oh, we're against it. But YouTube doesn't care. They do whatever they want because they think they're smarter than you. Again, I want to reiterate that. I'm not even kidding. That's why everyone who's there, they actually think they're smarter than us. We're the people who use the site every day. I'm the person who's used the site for 17 years for my job. But the people there think they know the site better than me. So oh no, trust us, this will be better. No, it's not. I want to see the names you guys use on YouTube and to be addressed by. I don't want to see a bunch of fucking random dashes, numbers, letters. In some cases, the names I'm seeing aren't even the names you went by. I think Isna is here, but your channel is like FFGGGZZ, so I don't even know your name is Isna anymore. you know? So FYI, guys, that's what's going on. And again, I apologize. Obviously, I don't want to lose that connection that I have with you guys on YouTube because I don't even recognize who you are. But YouTube changed this morning. And by the way, did they tell anyone this change was coming? No. Did they warn everyone? No. Did they do a dry run to test it? No. They just launched the change. Oh, well, you deal with it. Oh, it's not working? Oh, too bad. That's YouTube. 17 years on the site. That's exactly the treatment that I've gotten every single day I've been on the site. They just don't care about anything. Oh, well, we're smarter than you. Oh, okay. If you say so. Now, that is correct. Late Note just made a point and said, well, I guess this is going to stop impersonators. Absolutely correct. For example, recently, we had some impersonators that were coming by and very badly impersonating certain people. And because of that, I didn't even know if the person talking was the true person or not. Now, I should be able to recognize the real person, okay? Because I'm going to see the actual real channel name now, and it should be okay. But I'm going to have to relearn everyone's name. That's the problem. Like, who was it? Extreme Machine has been coming by recently to help out with very, hard to find stuff in Silksong, because now we're in Silksong Act 3, and some of the most cryptic stuff is going on. So Extreme Machine's been helping me with that. And now there's been trolls going by and using that same exact name to impersonate them and say stupid shit. But now once I see Extreme Machine in chat and I see their real channel, we should never have that problem again. I'll instantly recognize an imposter, okay? So here's the thing. I get why I get why YouTube is doing it. It's just the worst possible implementation they could do. They easily could have thought of something better or different or more original. They could have gotten feedback from the people who use the site, but instead they just said, fuck it. Flip the switch. We know better. So I'm sorry for that, okay? So let's say good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone. We've got JHFFGGGYY. We've got Chris. We got Support Rally Man, Dark Lord Sauron, Gameplay. Who do we got? Legenius Wisdom Williams, XDGGGXD. You see what I'm saying? We got Stormforce Gamer, Original Grant. And over on Kick, we got Leroy Jenkins, Real Crown Prince, Leprosy Finger Sniffer, Massive, scroll the screen, Maestro David, Eddie Chill is here, Risty Cam, what a name, Nico Sicano, excuse me, Captain Based Pants, Quantuminth, you get it, Dickerson, Roman Victor, John Nepper, how you doing, Soft Sausages, what a name. See what I mean? Now, was that really their name? Probably not, because I've never seen a Soft Sausages before. Yet, according to this, they're a 3-month member. Who is it? I don't know. Soft Sausages, if I knew you before, sadly, I don't know you now because they changed your name. Okay? Mac Perry Music, how you doing? So, good morning to everyone. Welcome to the show. Again, this will be an abridged podcast. This one's not going to go on for hours on end. I'm going to talk about the topics that I need to talk about, and we're going to try to end it more abruptly so that we can get to Tormented Souls 2. Okay? There you go. Banana Jose, how are you? Good to see you. Buckwell, how are you? He says, start the game. No. Quiet, Buckwell. Quiet over there. Stop getting so uppity over there on Kick. All right? I got stuff to discuss. All right? All right. So I'm trying to think, before we get to the whole wings topic, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else in my head that I wanted to cover for today before we get to that. Space Jam fam, how are you? Keanu Creeps. Oh, shout outs. Let's do some shout outs because I actually got some early support here this morning. So Mr. Omega Man did a series of super chats. 3 super chats. The first one says, actually, there were 4 super chats. The first one says, proud to support you. F Raw Phil Losers. Amazing. Then he did another $2 super chat. He says, one more for the haters. Phil, you are the king among men. Thank you for that. Then he did another $2 super chat. He says, I don't know. He says, Phil, you losers live for DSP. You're dedicated. Thank you. And then he did another $2 super chat. He says, Raw Phil Losers, I give him money to own you. So there you go. Thanks for all those super chats. Then we have, is the schedule command not working? If it's not, it's because it just pasted. That's why it didn't come up. No. Princess Luna, look up. the schedule just posted and there's a timer on the schedule. That's why it didn't post again. It's only a few lines above yours. Meconium did a $2 super chat. Says, I work at YouTube and I'm smart. Incorrect. You don't work at YouTube, and indeed you are not smart. But thanks for $2. And then we have Genesis Gaming, 44 months as a member, who says, what is this imposter in front of my name? YouTube! Yes. Genesis Gaming also says, it looks like the membership crowns have changed. That's me. I changed them. Finally, after many, 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 many years. In fact, how about this? I'm not exaggerating. 10 years. Those membership crowns were designed around 10 years ago. I actually started actively using them around 7 to 8 years ago. It was 8 years ago. Because it was when I started full-time streaming on Twitch, which was 2017. So they've been 8+ years old, these crowns. We upgraded them. As you can now see, way more detail, way more stuff to them. I designed more tiers. There's multiple tiers now that you'll see. And they're now going to space out for years and years. So the crowns look much better now. Okay. So enjoy the new crowns. Okay. All right. So thanks for the early, thank you so much for the early support. Now, today's the premiere of Tormented Souls, obviously, right? It sure would be great if today we could get some good support and we can hit the goal. We are at 3 out of 10 goals. What is DSP Tries It coming up? I'll tell you what it is. It is Domino's Pizza. For the first time in over a decade, I'm going to do Domino's Pizza on DSP Tries It. We're going to try the stuffed crust. We're going to try another different kind of crust. We're going to have an appetizer. We're going to go all out and do a full-fledged Domino's Pizza episode. I'm excited because I haven't had it in so long. Even if it sucks, it'll probably still be entertaining, to be honest. Even if it sucks and it's terrible food, I haven't been there in so long. Hopefully something's good. Like, hopefully something that we order will be good. Whether it's going to be the stuffed crust or whatever. But it's going to be a Halloween week pizza party next week right here on DSPGaming. But we got to hit 10 goals. We're at 3. If we have a good day today, we hit the goal on this stream, we hit the goal tonight for Ninja Gaiden 4, we'll be at 5. We'll be halfway there. Then we could maybe do it around like Tuesday-ish. That'd be perfect. Okay? So let's go. Let's get support for today's stream. Let's hit that goal. Let's get it going for DSP Tries It. All right? Darth Fig, which, by the way, his name is now displayed as @DarthFig6027. I'll just call him Darth Fig. Did a $5 super chat to become the top super chatter of the day. And says, DSP, did you watch the trailer to Cosmic Invasion? It's only a minute long, but it looks darn good. Not sure if you're going to play it. So I'm learning more about this game now. I'm starting to see people post up and talk about it. So Cosmic Invasion is a modern take at old school beat 'em ups. If you remember back in the day, there was an X-Men arcade game. Okay? There was a Marvel Superheroes arcade game. It was called Avengers, actually. The Avengers beat 'em up. There was a Spider-Man side-scroller beat 'em up. So this is an homage to those games, but it features a whole modern cast. It has like Captain America and Storm and She-Hulk and stuff like that. From what I'm to understand, it's coming out in early December. I don't know if it's free to play or if you have to buy it, but I think they've made a model where they're going to keep releasing characters over time. The thing is, I don't know if they're going to keep releasing stages. Like if it's a beat 'em up, right? That's fine. I love beat 'em ups. But usually they're good for like one run through, maybe 2, and then you're like, all right, I've played this. I wonder if they're going to keep adding content, like if it's going to be like a live service thing where they have seasons of content and stuff like that. I don't know. I'd be willing to give it a look for sure. Absolutely, I'd be willing to give it a look. So I'm going to put that actually on my schedule, Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It's December 1st it comes out. Definitely one to look for in early December. Hopefully it turns out good. I'm interested in it. All right. Thank you for the super chat, Darth Fig. Our first tips of the day have rolled in. However, they could be trolls, so bear with me while I take a look. Is someone who wants an unban on YouTube. I'm serious. Someone wants a live unban. Okay. I gave you the live unban. What's that? Our first kicks of the day. I Love Work with 100 kicks. Thank you to I Love Work. Thank you guys for the early support. Please keep it rolling, right? Let's keep it coming. And Thank you for the early support before we start the game. All right, let's get to the topic at hand. Let's get to the topic everyone wants me to address. You guys have been asking me about this for 2 days. All right. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, a couple days ago, Wings of Redemption randomly said in the middle of his stream, out of nowhere, oh, well, I should probably mention this during a stream where I've got more attendance, but let me just start talking about it. I'm going to appear, but I can't speak. I'm going to appear on Phil's show on Monday. So anyone who wants to see me hang out with Phil on Monday, that's happening. Okay. And then again, apparently last night, Wings was playing Battlefield 6, and he mentioned it again. He said, yeah, on Monday, I'm going to be on Phil's show. All right. But the weird thing is that he's not giving like many details or anything about it. Right. He's just randomly like mentioning this as a one-off quick thing. And so a lot of people, I guess, are dismissing it and saying, it's obviously he's just talking out of his ass, or, if Phil has said a million times that if Phil is going to be involved in anything, whether he's going to appear on a show or someone's going to appear on his show, or there's going to be some kind of an event, DSP will bring it up. And DSP has said multiple times in the past, don't believe anything anyone else says, because a lot of people just talk. You'll hear it from him first. So that's why I think a lot of people have been like, this isn't a big deal. We don't really need to bring it up. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So here's the deal. Here's what's actually going on. Let me explain to everyone to get it out in there publicly in the air. You know me. I don't talk about anything unless it's ready to go. It's locked in and guaranteed and exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you guys, if I had told you about all stuff that I've worked on in the last year and a half, you'd probably be very disappointed. There was a lot of people I was talking with who I thought would be on the show, who I thought I could do some content with, and none of it worked out. And I've told you why. Several people who actually were very interested in working with me then found out about Kiwi Farms. Okay, I'm just being honest here. Kiwi Farms, the website full of degenerates and mentally ill people who literally will dox the living shit out of anyone who has involvement with me or other people who they have termed lolcows for literally no reason. Like, it serves no purpose. It doesn't hurt me, but they will do this. So multiple people who I've tried to work with over the last year to year and a half have said, we'd like to work with you. The content sounds like a great idea, but we just can't take the chance that ourselves, our viewers, our family members, our moderators are all going to get doxxed on Kiwi Farms. So therefore, we can't work with you. That's not a lie. That's not an exaggeration. That happened 3 different times in the last year from people who I want to collab with. Okay? And I never said the word Kiwi Farms. They did. That's how infamous it's become. So when you say, website like that, it's fine, it's not harmful. No, it absolutely is 100%. Absolutely is a horrible place, and it shouldn't exist. Okay? Now, in regards to what's going on with Wings, okay? The reason that you have not heard me bring this up whatsoever is because it's not a lock. Nothing has been solidified. Nothing has been set in stone. Nothing has been scheduled, okay? Here's what's been going on. As you know, and I've talked about this publicly for a while now, for a long time, I tried to get Wings of Redemption to do something with me, whether it was just appear on a show, for an interview, for a podcast, hell, to team up and do some gaming together, whatever it may be. And every time that I made the attempt, here's what would happen, okay? Either I would be completely and utterly ghosted, where I would get no response whatsoever, or I would initially get a response, and he would seem interested, only for him to later on then ghost me. And the weirdest part about it was, he would talk about it publicly in his own content. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do stuff with Phil. Like years ago, he said, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Battlefield with Phil, and I'm gonna do this and that. And it wasn't Battlefield, I think it was Call of Duty or whatever. But the weirdest part was, he never spoke to me about this stuff. He would just talk about it on his own streams, right? Then I would try to reach out to him, and he would ghost me. Now, a year ago, okay, I had reached out to both Wings of Redemption and Boogie to be potential guests for the Level 1 podcast when I was trying to get guests for the show. This was last fall, okay? Both initially seemed interested. Both responded and seemed interested. But then all of a sudden, Wings stopped responding. And I'm not even kidding you. Like, Keemstar was like, oh, well, you got to have Boogie on first. What do you mean I got to have Boogie on first? Like, I should have whoever I want on my show on first. But it seemed like, I don't know if it was a situation where Boogie just really wanted to be on my show. And so he was like, going with his boss, Keem, and be like, listen, I really want to go on Phil's show first. Can you make that happen? I'm not sure what it was. Okay. But anyway, I was basically outright overtly told the only way you'll ever have Wings of Redemption on your show is if you have Boogie on first. The thing was, when I asked you guys a year ago, are you interested in having Boogie on the show? You guys said, no, we're not. If you remember, that was the breakout scandal where it was revealed that he had been lying about having cancer for a long time to try to strum up sympathy from his viewers and try to raise funds. And people were just disgusted with the guy. They wanted nothing whatsoever to do with him. They were like, no, we just don't want this guy on your show. We don't think it's going to add anything. We don't think the conversation will be interesting. So I listened to feedback. I was like, all right, if you guys don't want it, then I won't do it. So basically I said, forget it. I don't want Boogie on the show. If you remember, we were even talking about doing it, and he was not even capable of like sending me a Discord information so I could add him to the Discord and then trying to schedule when he was going to come on. It was like seriously, it was like the biggest hardship and endeavor. Now, the funny thing is, let's see. I was easily able to appear on Kino Casino multiple times. They appeared on my content multiple times. Fine. We had no problem getting June the King to show up, Sluttering Craig to show up. I'm not a hard guy to work with. You just have to have like common sense and some basic intelligence and some work ethic. And sadly, I hate to say it, but I think some people just don't. And so after like going through hoops to try to talk to Boogie to get him on the show, I had enough. I said, I just don't care anymore. I just lost complete interest. Like, I don't give a shit. My audience doesn't want it. I'm tired of working with this guy because he's fucking so disorganized. Enough. So I just completely got rid of the whole idea. And that was that. Now, over the last year, I have made attempts from time to time to reach out to Wings of Redemption again and say, hey, just so you know, if you're ever interested, the door is still open, blah, blah, blah. All right? But finally, I just got fed up because it was a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago, I would say. And I had made like a final attempt, and I'm like, dude, you've been like ignoring me for like a year. And the funny part is when he talks about me in his content, it's always usually positive. Yeah, he'll make a little joke here or there, right? But for the most part, it's positive stuff. People say, would you work with Phil? Yeah, I would. Then why doesn't he ever respond? Right? Ever. He just ghosts me, but he talks publicly, but then he ghosts, right? So finally, recently, I was watching some of the detractor content about him. I'm not going to lie, because I'm curious, what is it that these detractors have about this guy that they hate so much, right? And admittedly, he has some mannerisms that are kind of odd and weird, things that he says and does and the ways that he behaves, okay? There's ongoing, just like with me, there's ongoing themes of reasoning that his trolls say about him that they all latch onto. It's kind of samey stuff. What I mean by that is, if you take a look at detractors' content for anyone on the internet, whether it's me, whether it's LTG, whether it's Wings, whether it's Boogie, whether it's, everyone has these detractors. They all kind of just latch on to these memes, right? These dumb memes. And to be honest, if you just watch the videos and you see them for what they really are, videos that are going to expose some, weaknesses of the person, but if you realize that it's not like the end of the world and you can just have a laugh at the videos, then it's great. It's fine. The problem is there's people who just obsess over this shit. They do, and they go crazy. And the next thing you know, they're wishing harm and horrible things on people on the internet, which is fucked up beyond belief. That never should get to that level, but it does. And that's what's sad, is that people can't tell the difference. Like, I truly feel like maybe these people maybe don't like Wings, all right? But they don't want him to be murdered. They don't want him to completely go bankrupt and end up in the streets. They just wish that he would improve. And that's the thing, that they make the case he never improves, okay? So anyway, after having watched some of this guy's content, I saw him repeatedly say stuff like, I hate playing games on the internet. I really wish I didn't have to do it, but this is how I make my living. He quit LolCow Live. Then he went back. First he got fired from LolCow Live. Then he went back. Then he quit. then he's in limbo, then he's gone again. And I just keep seeing him say stuff in his content. Like he wishes that he could do a show where he could talk with someone about stuff, but it's not a show that he had to set up, but instead he could just be there as a guest. And I'm thinking, this is literally what we could have done years ago. What I wanted to do with the guy. Like I said, let's have a show. I have a show. I literally have the show. All he has to do is show up for it. But he never does. He just ghosts me, right? So I made like one final effort a couple weeks ago. All right. I unblocked him, first of all, because remember, I'd been pissed that he had been, ghosting me for so long. And then remember, he had responded to me like a month and a half ago and said, "Oh, I'll be on your show now. And by the way, I'm sorry that I never responded to you." But it was all because Keemstar told him to. Keemstar was looking for more guests and more content for Lolcow Live, which has been drying up recently. So he just did what he was told. And that pisses me off. It really does. When you only talk to me when you get told by your boss to do it. You won't do it as like a real person. That's so disingenuous, right? So finally I unblocked him and I sent a message and I said, "I really feel like you're stuck and if we just work together, it could be something interesting and original and fun. I don't know why you've ghosted me and disrespected me for all these years." So he finally responded. He basically said to me that he's been going through depression. He's still going through depression. And that's the reason why he treats me like that. Now, I can tell you guys something. I've gone through depression. I know what it's like. When you're depressed, you feel like you don't deserve anything. You feel like you're not good enough for anything. You feel like you're the dirt on the bottom of everyone else's shoe. And if anything positive comes up for you, a lot of the times, completely inexplicably, you will ruin that opportunity. You will treat the person being nice to you like dirt because you feel like you don't deserve to be treated nicely. Okay? I've done it. I know for a fact in my past, I have done that because I was depressed. There's entire friendships I literally broke off and ended for no reason. Okay? So coming from that position myself, when he said that, I kind of understood what he was saying. At the same time, this isn't like, oh, he did it once, he did it twice. It's weird how it's wishy-washy, okay? So basically, he said that to me, and I went back to him, and we had a little bit of a conversation back and forth. And after that conversation, we basically ended it at, well, why don't we just hang out? Why don't we just have a stream where we just chill, where we just have a conversation? It doesn't have to be long. It could be 45 minutes. It could be 2 hours. Depends on how long we want it to go. But why don't we just chill and see what happens? People have been asking for DSP and Wings to do something for years and years and years and years. People just want to see us have a conversation because we never have. Do you know that, right? Literally, the two of us have never once spoken to each other. There's been a few texts back and forth and emails back and forth, and that's it. There's been no actual back and forth conversation between us ever in history. He's talked about me a ton, but we've never had this conversation, okay? So basically, I proposed this to him. He seems to like the idea, all right? So I said, well, we talked about scheduling or whatever. Initially, I actually wanted to have him on this week. He said, no, I want to go on next week. I said, well, I'm not going to push him. I'm not going to try to rush him and scare him away. Fine, if he wants to do it next week, we can do it next week. I'm okay with that. So we talked about days, and it looks like maybe Monday of next week would be the best day for him. Okay. I told him the times I stream. All right. I basically told him what I would like to do is to have him on during the time frame when I would do the Level 1 podcast. So basically, it would just be a special edition of the show where we'll have him on as a guest. Okay. And there is no specific topic. It is not, oh, we're going to have you on and we got to talk about this and drama. And it's nothing like that at all. It's just supposed to be a hangout session. Now, we might very well get into dramatic topics. I don't know. Okay? I know immediately every time I bring this guy's name up, I get people say, what about when he pushed his wife down and shit like that? And I'm like, I don't even really know about that. I've seen it. Everyone's seen the clip, right? But I have never seen it in context. I don't watch Lolcow content. I'm never going to. So I don't actually know what really happened there. He absolutely, positively says he did not intentionally knock his wife down. It was an accident and she was fine and she was upset with him after the fact. It was just a mistake, you know? I don't know. But a lot of people are saying don't have him on the show because he knocked his wife down. You know, I'm sure a lot of people could say, don't have Darkside Phil on your show because he charged $1,000 to show his cat on stream and he plays WWE champions. I don't know. You know, it's hard because I've come from that position too, where people say the dumbest shit. And I know this stuff is just so stupid, but people actually like listen to it and believe it and then hate me for it, you know? So anyway, I would love to just have him on the show. Have a conversation with him. Again, whether it's a half an hour, whether it's 2 hours, I don't know how it's going to go. It could be the most boring conversation in human history. It could be a very interesting conversation, depending on the topics we talk about, what we have to say. I don't know, right? I just want to, like I said, I've been open to giving stuff chances. I've been trying, but people won't work with me, not because of me, but because of the troll element, because of getting harassed online, getting doxxed online. They don't want to be a part of anything with me, and that's not my fault. There's nothing I can do about that. In this case, Wings has literally been trolled just as much as me. So I don't think that he's really afraid of that, okay? Now, you might say, well, if all this is true, Phil, why are you only bringing it up now? Why didn't you tell us all along? Why didn't you even say anything yet? Why is Wings talking about this in his content, but you're not talking about it in yours? All right? It's pretty simple. I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. I don't want to tell you that I'm going to have a guest on my show until it is a lock, okay? Because imagine, like I said, there were 3 or 4 different people who either were slated to be on my show or who I was going to do collaborative work with last year, okay? And then they all canceled because they were all afraid of being harassed online by crazy people on Kiwi farms. And this is not me trying to scapegoat. This is exactly what happened. 3 different people said I can't do it because I found out about the shit that happens on Kiwi farms and I can't be involved in that. So in this case, I don't want to tell you guys he's coming on the show until we have 100% secured every single thing needed to have him on the show and it's locked in. So what's the status right now? Here's the status. About 3 days ago, maybe 2.5, okay? I last talked to him, and where we were at was, send me your Discord info so I can send you a Discord invite. That way we'll be on each other's friends list. Then let's lock in the exact time that you're going to appear, and then I'll talk about the show, okay? He sends me his Discord info. I send him the invite. That was over 2 days ago. He hasn't added me to Discord. He hasn't responded. I went back to him again and said, hey, did you get my Discord invite? Hasn't responded. Okay. Don't know what time he's going to be on the show. Like, do you see my point? Does it sound familiar? It sounds like exactly what happened with Boogie. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're interested. They really want to do it. But then when I try to get the details locked in, where are they? It's been over 2 days. He's not talking. And before you say, oh, he's been sleeping for 2 days like Swaggy just said, no, he's streaming. So is he, again, purposefully dodging me? Because now he's having second thoughts? That doesn't make sense because he's literally saying in these streams that he's going to be on the show on Monday. Now, all I can do is guess. Here's my guess. Wings and Boogie are the kind of people who literally wait till the last minute for everything. They literally just go to the absolute last minute procrastination, okay? In Wing's mind, he doesn't have to actually add me on Discord or tell me what time he's going to be on the show until 5 minutes before. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? But it seems like to me that's how these people are. That's not how I am, okay? I have a very analytical planning mindset. I like to have my schedule laid out throughout the entirety of a week. Okay, I do. I like to have my schedule completely laid out so I know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it. I literally have the schedule plastered all over my channel, my X account. You guys know where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing at almost all times for about a week. Okay? Now, those things change from time to time. But hey, at least you know. And people have praised me over the years. saying, listen, you can hate on Phil and say his content sucks, but no one's going to say that guy doesn't work a lot and work hard. He's got a set schedule. He's there for that schedule. He's got the content he promises. He doesn't overpromise and underdeliver. I'm not one of these people that, oh, I just randomly turned my stream on. Everyone rushed to the stream. No, you know when my stream is on. That's why every time I turn on my stream, I have consistent viewership. That's something that I think a lot of people need to learn. If you actually want to get consistent viewership and consistent support, then you have to be consistent because it comes hand in hand. Your consistency, you'll get consistent results if you're consistent. Okay? So, in regards to this situation, I don't have Wings on my Discord yet. I don't have a guaranteed time he's showing up. Therefore, I haven't announced his appearance. That's how I am. But now he's talking about it so much, I had to address it on my show. Now, by the way, I have absolutely no hard feelings and no ill will towards him because of this. I wish that he had the same kind of mind that I do, the analytical, planning out style mind. Like I said, I literally like to have an outline of shit. Like when I have a day off, I'm not shitting you. When I have a day off, okay, I plan the shit I'm doing during the day. What do we got to do today? Oh, we got to go to Costco. We got to go to the grocery store. We got to go to the pet store. We got to go over here and do this. What are we going to do this? What about dinner? Well, what food is in the area that we're going to be in that day for dinner? So let's now weigh and balance the different places that we could eat. Oh man, we just had Mexican food a couple weeks ago, so we can't do that. So instead, maybe we could do this or that. This is how my mind works. And for some people, that might sound crazy. It might drive you nuts. Like, why does your mind work like that? Don't you ever do anything sporadic? Oh, I do. There's certainly times where I'm just driving around. Oh, there's something interesting. Let's just check that out. But for the most part, that's how my mind has always worked. It's planning everything out. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. And that's how I like to run my business. So that's why you don't hear me casually saying, oh, yeah, Wings is going to be on. Because he hasn't been locked yet. He's not a locked appearance. He apparently thinks he is, even though he's not on my Discord, and we don't even have a time frame yet that he's showing up on Monday. But, you know. So anyway, that's what's going on. So here's the thing. I would absolutely, positively love to have him on the show on Monday just to hang out. Just a hangout session. Whatever topic comes up, comes up. Okay? But at the same time, I don't know what's going to happen because we haven't locked it in yet. So he can talk about it as much as he wants on his own streams, but until he responds to me, the person who runs this show, nothing is set yet. Okay? He needs to add me on Discord, and he needs to say, okay, I'm going to show up at this time, because here's what I would like to do. Start the show like I usually do around 11:30. Do about a half an hour build-up. Get you guys all hyped up for his appearance till like noonish. Then around noon, get him on the show, have him hang out for about an hour, hour and a half, and then after that, do our usual decompression where we hang out for like an hour and we talk about what just happened. I answer questions. I do shout outs because here's the thing. If he's on the show, all right, it's going to be him and me hanging out. It's not going to be him and me and giant pop-ups coming on the screen of trolls trying to fuck with this guy or anything. No, he's giving me his attention. He's giving me his time. That's a valuable asset. Therefore, I give him my respect. So there will not be pop-ups. There will not be bullshit going on. I won't be doing shout outs. It's just going to be him and me hanging out. After that ends, then we have the decompression where we can talk. I can do shout outs. You know what I'm saying? Just like the previous interviews that I've done. It'll be exactly the same, conducted the same. All right? Now, also, the crazy stuff that people are saying. Oh, this will lead to content, and this will lead to this and that, and this will lead. It won't lead, I don't know what's going to lead to anything. All right? Just to be honest with you. Like, I just want to hang out with the guy and just see how it goes. Because for years and years and years, people have said, you guys should hang out, have a conversation or whatever. And we've never done it, right? So this may be a first step towards something greater. This may be a one and done. No one knows, right? Every time that I did an interview last year, I had no clue how it was going to go. And they all went different directions, right? I think, no exaggeration, like every single interview I did went differently than probably how originally I thought it was going to go. I thought the Keemstar interview would be completely contentious. It was completely the opposite. I thought with Stuttering Craig, by the end of the interview, we were going to bury the hatchet. And literally, it went completely the opposite way. You know? So, who knows? You know? What would I like this to be? I would like to just hang out with Wings for about an hour. have a good time, talk about various topics, get his opinions on stuff. I'll give him my opinion on stuff. Maybe we'll find some common ground. Maybe we'll completely disagree on certain topics as well. Maybe we'll give each other advice. Maybe we'll laugh at each other. Who knows, right? I would hope that by the end we don't hate each other's guts, but maybe that'll happen too. I don't know. You never know. Like, seriously, I don't know. But who cares? It's something to do, right? It's something different to do, right? Let's see how stuff goes, shall we? All right. So, as soon as I hear from Wings on when he's going to appear, if he's okay with what I just laid out, which was, he comes out around noonish my time. I don't know what time that is his time. And that, we're good. That's what we'll do on Monday. But I don't know. We'll find out. All right, we'll see if he actually adds me on Discord because I sent him the invite, right? So he has to add me, and then we got to get this all worked out. But he hasn't confirmed anything yet. Okay, let's see what people have to say. Here's what we'll do. All right, let's see what people have to say about this topic and others. Tag me in the chat. We'll do a little bit of Q&A to end the show, and please let's get some support for the show before we start with Tormented Souls 2. Okay. So Spider-Man, by the way, again, just to reiterate, everyone's names have changed on YouTube. So I don't know what your real name is. Like Spider-Man is saying, how's it going? I won't be staying for the playthrough because I'm playing it for myself, but I hope it goes well. Thanks, but I don't know who you are. Are you Little Spider Ninja? Maybe. I'm now seeing your real address from YouTube. So your name is @Spiderman2315. So I actually don't know who you were before. And I apologize. YouTube changed this for everyone this morning, and now everything's screwed up, so I don't know who anyone is. It sucks. I'm going to have to learn everyone's different names now on YouTube, but it's all good. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, I'm hoping Tormented Souls 2 is great. So here we go. One person says he slapped Kelly for honking the horn. He's a POS. Then Legenius Wisdom says, this sounds awesome and I'm excited. Darkside Dellin says, you don't need dead weight like Wings Around. He drags the show's energy down. Sure. Boom Arm says, just play the game. We're going to play the game. Relax yourself. Don't rush the host. Red Siphon asks, will I play the AVGN game that just released today? I'm not in any real desire or rush to play it. Did a single person ask me to play it? So, no, I'm not too anxious to play it. What's weird is I've seen like footage of it and it looks exactly the same as his older games. Like he has 2 other games that came out like 10 years ago, one of which I played during a marathon ages ago. It looks like exactly the same game. It looks like Mega Man. So did they make the same game 3 times or something? It looks the same to me, but I don't know. What's up, the villain? How you doing today? See, I agree. Swaggy says, I think conversations with anyone can be interesting in their own way, and people are quick to say not to talk to someone. Listen, let me put it this way. What's the harm in it? Even if this ends up being the most boring conversation ever known in history, or if it ends up being the most contentious conversation at the end of the day, we hate each other's guts. Who cares? You know me. Business as usual. I move on. We do more gameplay. We have great times. This is not like my entire existence on the internet is hinging on this going well. I don't care. Either way, it's not a big deal. Now, maybe something positive can come out of it. Okay. Or maybe not. I don't know. But I think it's, in life, you got to at least try stuff. And certainly I've known that, like I said, in the last year, you guys have no idea how much stuff I did actually reach out and try stuff. And it's not my fault that it didn't work out because it's outside reasons that stuff doesn't work out, not me. But hey, what are you going to do? So Jade, how you doing? I see you, Jade. Now, we got a problem. Jade, if you're not aware, YouTube decided to change everything. YouTube has changed the way that people are named on YouTube. Jade, I no longer see your name. I see your channel name, which is completely different than your name, which is why I didn't initially recognize you, but now I realize that was you because I recognize your avatar. So what's going on, Jade? This is going to happen with a ton of people. Seriously. A ton of people are going to come by and I'm not going to recognize you guys because it's not showing your name anymore. It's showing the and the address that you're actually on YouTube, which sucks. Darkside Elin says, everyone thought you were going to go full-on Ralph Amale because you did one show with Ethan Ralph. You did one good show and moved on, and your haters act like the sky was falling. Well, these people are just dumb. They really are. Like, when I had Ethan Ralph on Smart Guys, right? It worked. Right? It worked. 100%. Why did it work? It worked because basically he was there for wrestling commentary and he had a lot to add, I feel like, in my opinion. Like when he was saying stuff about the show or whatever, it was actually intelligent commentary. All right. It was good stuff. Now, maybe if I continued to work with the guy, it would have become more dramatic and went south. But for the one show that he appeared on, I thought that it went really, really well. And I've had, cordial conversation with Ethan Ralph behind the scenes just to say, hey, I wish you well. I hope things are going well for you. And, the reason that, I don't really contact you is because there's nothing to talk about. Like we were there for wrestling. And since the wrestling thing has fallen through and I'm not doing it anymore, there's really nothing else to do, like we don't really have common ground. The shit that he's doing has nothing to do with the stuff that I do. Right. So where are we going to have a crossover? Like on nothing. I don't do politics. I don't do drama. That's what he does. Right. So, yeah, I feel like this could be a great thing, especially because people, again, it's been like 5+ years. People have said, what about Wings? You want to have an interview with Wings? You're going to have gaming with Wings. I just want to have a conversation with the guy and see what happens. All right. All right. So any last minute questions, concerns, anything for me to shout out? It looks like we have Little Spider Ninja did a $2 super chat and says, it's Little Spider Ninja. Can I change my name? I think you can. I think if you're on your YouTube channel, if you go into your settings or whatever, you can change your @address name. But if someone already took the name you want, then you can't. It has to be a unique name, you see? So, for example, Jade's YouTube channel isn't called Jade at all. It's a completely different name. He could go into the settings of the channel and change it to say @Jade something, but he would have to know how to do that. I don't know exactly where it is. The villain says Tormented Souls is 10 to 20 hours long. That means that it's over 20 hours long. There is absolutely no situation where a game is 10 to 20 hours long. That's just not possible, okay? What that means is if you speed run the game, you know how to play everything. You've already beaten it before, so you know where all the items are. You know how to run by certain enemies. You're going to skip every cutscene. Then it's 10 hours long, okay? Average person probably would take 20 hours since I'm a streamer and I'll be talking and interacting with you guys. That means for me, it's probably over 20 hours, okay? And this is the point I was making earlier. It really doesn't make sense for me to add in a game like Outer Worlds 2 when we're going to be juggling all these other games. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be juggling so many other games. Why on earth am I going to now try to add in another one? On top of that, that's a lengthy RPG. It doesn't seem to make sense right now. Yes, I know, Jade. I know. He said, I don't like how YouTube now has this new name system. I hate it. I don't like it either, Jade. Like, no lie, I didn't know that was you until I looked at your avatar and I recognized your avatar and I was like, oh, that's him. It sucks. I liked the old naming system and they did away with it. So now you have to change the actual @address of your channel for that to show up in a chat, here's why they did it, because we figured it out. Because people are impersonating others. People are coming in with exactly the same name. So now you don't know the difference between two people. It looks like they're exactly the same person when they're not. That's why they probably did this. But they easily could have done it in a different way. It's really dumb that they did it this way, in my opinion. Did YouTube bring back DMs? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. They abolished that like 5, 6, 7 years ago and they deleted them all. They deleted everyone's history of DMs completely. No, I'm not going to get Kirby Air Riders on Switch 2, and there's 2 reasons for that. Reason number 1, because racing games haven't done well. Mario Kart World and now Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, they didn't do well on the channel. I'm not going to get a 3rd racing game. And then number 2, my Switch 2 won't connect to the Ethernet internet anymore. I don't know why, because I didn't do anything to it. So apparently it managed to break itself. I don't know how, and there seems to be no way to fix that. How am I going to play a game online with wireless internet? I'm not. It's going to lag like crazy. So that whole point of Kirby Air Riders was to play against people online and race around, and I'm not going to be able to do it. So it's actually just a dead-on arrival game for me. I can't play it. Sucks, but what can I do? Oh, that's King Michael? What's up, King Michael? Yeah, your name isn't King Michael anymore. Now it's Michael and a bunch of random shit. You see what I mean? Oh, this sucks. Guys, I am so sorry that YouTube did this. I'm going to have to learn who all of you are again, this really stinks. This really does stink. Hopefully, everyone will be able to change their name exactly to what they want it to be, because it really sucks that your names don't show up the same anymore. Now it's just this @ symbol. Look at the chat. It's just an @ symbol and a bunch of, it's bullshit. Oh, but we improved things. No, stupid. No, you did the absolute least possible amount of intelligent thought and work, and you changed the site without asking anyone if this is going to work well for you or not. They're just so dumb. But again, I'm not kidding you when I say this. People who work at YouTube think they're smart. They actually think that they're like big brain fucking geniuses. They actually think that they know better than everyone who uses the site and that they should make these big sweeping changes without asking anyone because that's going to improve the overall user experience. They don't ask a single fucking person. They just launch the changes. Yeah, here's 2 more people. Pausen, I recognize. I don't know who Hagai S is. He says, oh, wow, there is that @ thing. That's annoying. Yeah, I don't even know who you are, Hagai, because that's what your channel address is, but I don't know what your real name is. This has just happened with 12 other people, too. That's correct. The issue is that YouTube doesn't have any competition. And with no real competition, they have no incentive to actually improve anything positively. Instead, they just do the bare lowest common denominator nonsense. They make mistake after mistake. No one ever holds them accountable for it, and we all have to keep using the site. You're right. It's always been like that, too. 17 years it's been like that. All right, guys. Well, let's end the show because, like I said, I didn't want this to go super long. Usually the show's an hour and a half to 2 hours. I want to end it now at an hour. I do want to jump into Tormented Souls 2. All right. So let's get started. And apologies again to the YouTube viewers if I don't recognize you today. Oh, by the way, Big Mac, 30 months as a member. So what were your thoughts on Still Wakes the Deep? I thought that the game was very creepy body humor. Okay. And basically, I liked some of the gameplay elements. However, I did not like the ending. The ending sucked. And the problem is with a lot of modern horror games, they leave an ambiguous, crappy, non-explained ending. And I don't want to invest, my time into a game that doesn't respect me enough to actually give me a real ending. And that's the problem, is that it happens all the time. Okay? By the way, Chef Demeski has gifted 2 memberships to the community. Thank you, Chef. Thanks for this early support. All right, so here's the deal, everyone. I've already explained it, but I'll explain it again. I'm off for 2 days, all right? I will be returning on Sunday. Yes, there will be a Level 1 podcast on Sunday, and I will also be playing more Tormented Souls 2 on Sunday, all right? 2 major streams of it, one today and one on Sunday. Next week will be a full 6-day streaming week, including the Halloween marathon at the end of said week. We'll continue on with all the games I'm playing. There will be multiple new releases and other things going on. So, there you go. Thank you guys for watching the show. I hope that you enjoyed, and I wish you the best. I hope you have a safe Friday and Saturday, and I hope that you guys will join me on Sunday for another full week of Halloween fun, month-ending fun next week. Great times and good stuff ahead. Thank you for chilling. Thank you, and see you Sunday. Peace out.